let's talk backswing and specifically the takeaway. Let's assume we've got the perfect grip. Now what do? We've got to start taking that golf club away and we've got to make our backswing. And there's a couple big things that happen. Obviously our lower body shifts and turns and our upper body shifts and turns, but they do different things. And what I want to do today is I want to spend a few minutes breaking down the role of the lower body, also the role of the upper body, and hope to do away with a couple of swing faults that I see happen very, very often. So let's break down the backswing in two parts and let's get it on track. So common things I see in average golfers and even high-level golfers is we can really get our golf swing out of sorts depending on how we make that backswing and how we start our takeaway. And what I see happen very often is two main faults. I see players sway in the backswing, and what I mean by sway is if we look at our right leg or my right leg, is as I make a backswing, I start to sway where it starts to move away from the golf ball. And the upper body fault that I see a lot is I see a lot of players take that golf club inside. And what I mean by inside is like from the viewpoint that I have right now is very early in the backswing, that club head gets behind my trunk. So let's talk about both of them, okay? The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give you a little illustration here where I'm gonna put alignment rod through my belt loop and then across my shoulders. And when we make a backswing, the first thing that I want to show you is that, let's say, ideally for a lot of players, we're looking to achieve roughly 90 degrees of upper body rotation and 45 degrees of lower body rotation. Now that'll vary a little bit from player to player, but normally we want to be in that range. But when I shift to this view here, this is where a lot changes. What I want you to watch is when I make my backswing, watch the white tip of that rod. And as I make a backswing, that rod stays pretty level as it rotates around. And now when I make a backswing with my upper body, now if we watch the orange tip, as I make the backswing, that orange tip starts to work more up. The big difference there is they're heading in two different directions. Hey, here's a little secret. Every week I send an email on Thursday mornings that gives you three things. It gives you one golf tip, it gives you one quote or stat, and gives you one little extra to help you play better golf and practice more effectively. To sign up, there's a link in my description. Make sure you get signed up because on Thursday morning, the next one's coming. And for a lot of players, they just think when they make a backswing, they just want to turn. And one of the faults we see is they get their upper body and their lower body to turn the exact same way, which let's say is very flat. And what that means is that club will come inside too often. Big cause of over the top. Also, what we can see from the face-on view is when players try to turn them in the same direction, their trail side can really start to sway off the golf ball. So let's talk about getting both of them heading in the right direction. When we're shooting from face on or even from down the line, the role of the lower body, yes, we want it to rotate, but it's not going to move laterally a whole lot. The visual I use in a lot of lessons is I'll have a player get set up to a golf shot, and let's say there's a wall behind their right glute. What I want them to think of when they start to make that backswing is as if that glute is pushing directly behind them and running into that wall, not moving away. So that'll really give us that cue of trying to get us to rotate that lower body in the backswing, not sway laterally. We get set up to that golf shot, we want to feel like that right glute, as soon as we start our backswing, is pushing back against that wall. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I just have a quick favor to ask. Can you make sure that you subscribe to this channel? Always like my videos, and make sure you hit that little bell to make sure that you get notifications when I drop more videos just like this. And as always, if you ever have any questions, please post them in the comments down below. I respond to every comment. Now back to your video. If we think of the role of the upper body, I'm going to bring this back into play because this visual helps a little bit. We want to feel like that tip is rotating more up. And if you were to look right now at the angle that I have here, I didn't go flat where we came inside. Right? I didn't go flat with my shoulders. We still maintain some of that angle. And for a lot of players, what they'll feel is they'll feel like that left shoulder is lower than the right shoulder. The experiment we can do here, and you can do this at home in your living room if you'd like, you don't have to be on the golf course, is you can set up in golf posture, put something across your shoulders, and go ahead and make that backswing. And when you make that backswing, the thing that I want to know is that alignment rod pointing down in front of you, or is it pointing up into the horizon? For a lot of players, that's a dead giveaway on how we rotate our upper body. So the matchup we're looking for, we want to feel like our lower body and our hips are really trying to feel like as they rotate that right glute is pushing back, not moving laterally. It's rotating back. And for our upper body, we can put something across it for some feedback, but we want to feel like as we make that turn, we want to feel like our shoulders are setting ourselves up so that rod is still pointing down towards the ground, not up into the horizon. If you have a golf ball in front of you, because I'm sure all of you have golf balls in your living room or wherever you're watching this, when you make that backswing, let's say we want that rod to point just a little bit in front of that golf ball as a visual. The last thing I just want to warn you about is we're going to go back to the lower body, excuse me, because a lot of people fall for this. When they try to rotate their lower body, sometimes they still sway a little bit. And one of the main reasons why is where they have pressure in their trail foot. And the thing that I want you to keep in mind as you go through this process and you want to feel like you're pushing back against the wall, think of that trail foot. Let's make sure there's weight on the inside of it when we do it. I'll go into a little bit more detail in a later video, but what I don't want to have happen is I don't want you to sit up to a golf shot with some weight on that outside of that foot, because that's still going to want to promote the sway. So to summarize where we are, the upper and the lower body in the backswing, they both have to rotate. They rotate different amounts. Lower body roughly 45 degrees, upper body roughly 90 degrees. But importantly, they also rotate in different directions. Those hips are going to feel like they're rotating as they rotate a little bit more level compared to our upper body, and that right glute's really going to feel like it's pushing back. And when we do it with our upper body, we know that the upper body, especially that trail shoulder, is going to feel like it's rotating more up, and that lead shoulder is going to be more pointing down to the ground in front of us. I hope this helps clarify a few concepts on the takeaway. As always, if you have any questions, you can post them in the comments down below. I respond to every single one. And make sure you like and subscribe to stay tuned for more videos. Until next time, happy golfing.